getting up and going down, getting round, getting round, getting up and going.
Hey, Composing Gloves here, and today I am going to be showing you the magic of the 6-5-4-5 chord. It's a minor. It's naturally a minor progression. So if you're moving like this is this is a chord progression that is commonly associated with what's called a turnaround. What is a turnaround? A turnaround. Well, to check and see if your music has turnarounds, this is what you got to do. You go to a place with a lot of people, and you get a big speaker. If you get a small speaker, it won't work. It's not. Your test will be far less accurate. So you got to get a big speaker, probably an orange one for the best results, and you put it up. Make sure you've got it as loud as it can go, as long as the speaker, doesn't freak out. And if anyone gets up and turns around while you're playing your music, then you know that your music has a turnaround in it. So that's how you check for turnarounds. So what's a turnaround? Well, it's a thing you use to transition to a new part of the song. So you are in song and you're maybe playing song part A, and now you want to get to song part B. So what do? You use a turnaround to get to part B. You can think of them as sort of transitional things, transitional tools. And there are certain turnarounds that are associated with certain kinds of transitions. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to stick with our general definition of like, oh, this is great for a turnaround for just transitioning to some new thing. Sometimes it's a new piece to the song. Sometimes it's a new key. So this one is great for both. So let's talk about this. Okay, so let's write out one. Okay, so I've got a piano loaded up. This one. So here's a piano. Here's a piano roll. And now let's write out a 6-5-4-5. So let's think here. In the key of D, the 5 would be A, so the 6 would be B. So we have so we'll play the B minor. You'll also notice that this 6-5 I may occasionally say 1 at the beginning, just out of like some weird problem I have with saying 6 first. Because I think first chord, so I say 1, but I know it's a 6. It's like this weird thing. Okay, so 6-5-4-5. So it's going to be a minor. You'll notice that this lends itself to the natural minor scale. So this is really great because that's already a tip off that if we're moving around in the major key, we could slide over to the minor key using this. You could also, pull a fast one because it's a 5 chord and jump a fifth if you wanted. You can do a number of things. So let's look at this. So we have, we'll just write out a chord progression real quick. So go do, and then we'll go do, and then we'll go back down. So we'll B, D, bum, bum, bum. And so here's our 6 chord. Now we need a 5 chord, which is easy. It's an A. Oh yeah, let me play something for you real quick. That's like super obvious. I should play this first. So in the key of C, I'm going to play it. So 6, 5, 4, 5. So it's got this, like, you should go and just play the piano and just play around with this. You should do that with all of them. But this is really, really, really interesting because this is like almost a melody on its own. Or at least a motif or something. So this could create this is a very, very easy progression to use. You hear it used all the time. So like if we were to play something, we could, add in sevenths to make it sound fancier. So we go. That was like a weird. So yeah, it's nice. It's a nice thing. So let's write out ours. So we have A. So we're gonna go A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, A. We're just gonna keep it simple. And now we need a 4 chord, which would be F sharp, yeah, D. So we have. It's a G. What the heck am I even talking about? You freaking on drugs or something? Okay, so we got dun, 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 dun. And then we'll go back here. Now, ideally, you're going to change the inversion or, do something with the 5th chord. That's not going to be the exact same thing. But we're going to do the exact same thing here so we'll give it a listen. That's kind of cool. We could have space, whatever. It's cool. You don't need to fill up. Yeah, that's another thing. When you're writing rhythms and you want things to be interesting, introduce some space. Like right here. This is reverb, though. you could introduce some space though and get a pretty cool sounding thing. Cathedral, super airy. What I mean to say is don't be afraid to use rests. Especially when you have never played an instrument, you may not have a real good judgment on how to just intuitively write phrases. Like I played clarinet and flute. I played so many dang phrases that like, and I moved a lot. Like when I play, I cannot sit still and play the clarinet at the same time. Like I have to like move. If I don't move, I'm not in the music. Like, I have to experience it. I feel like even you people who go to raves and dances and stuff don't experience it the way the person who is genuinely constructing the sound from within them through an instrument. It's just a different relationship. There's no EDM drum machine. Like there are musicians out there who are freaking amazing, but it's just not the same. I've done both. And I can tell you right now, there are some pieces of music that are just you'll never reach that same level of caliber in some respects. Now EDM's got its own things that you'll never reach the same level of caliber in some areas of EDM. Now I know I'm being kind of general because if I start getting specific, I'll go on this rant forever. So I got to stop talking right now. But anyways, distance, size, amount, cool, we'll do that. And then if you're ever curious, my voice just cracked. If you're curious about how to control this pedal thing, well, you go here, you turn on port 1. Doop. Whoa, port 1. Holy freaking crap, dude. I can't do it. Okay, port 1, come over here, you put this, port 1. Then you come over here to knob, you configure it to CC64, and you click accept. Now, you can create an automation clip. Your automation clip will be on the screen. Put out your pattern with your fancy music theory. And then you can go like this and write out your pedal moves. So pedal on, right? And then we want pedal off here because we don't want blurry notes. I mean, you might want blurry notes. I just switched mouses and I can totally feel like the effects of switching the mouse. I think it's just because this mouse has a different speed than the other mouse. It's throwing me off. Okay, and we want it to turn back on. If we decide to keep going, we want to turn back on. Okay, so here we go. I have this right. Port 1, port 1. Oh, input port 1. There we go. Ah, there we go. I'm like, what the heck's going on there? Okay, so this, one thing about Contact 2 is playing lower notes can trigger different samples, which can make it sound very different. Oh, it's kind of an interesting thing we have down there on the low end. So I might switch this to the Giant. Giant's kind of a piano. It's good for this. Make this even softer though. I feel like it's just too loud. What's up with those low notes? I'm gonna switch pianos. The low notes are acting weird. And the pedals should still work because it's done through a MIDI controller CC, so it shouldn't matter. And we'll just turn the space on and also use the Cathedral. Da-da-da! That's pretty nice. That's a nice thing. So now we can now I can like jam on top of it. Let me think about what I'm doing. Oh, I'm in D. So I missed a note right there, but whatever, you get the idea. You can jam on it, you do all sorts of things. Kind of a nice chord progression. It loops quite nicely. Let's talk about something that's unique to it. Now, the instance that I'm actually playing on my keyboard is an instance linked to Sibelius, not to this instance. It's a little confusing. So my keyboard's velocity sensitivity is on, so it's like making it kind of difficult to play because the keyboard does not have the best velocity thing. I don't like it that much. Okay, so what are you talking about this turnaround thing? Let's talk about that. So we end on the G. So let's say I'm moving in C, okay? So let's say I'm doing this. Let's say that like I'm moving around right there because it's just super easy to see. Like, oh yeah, it's pretty easy to see here. That's the D major version. I'm gonna stick to C. So check this out. Because it ends on the 5 chord, I could choose to ditch the natural minor and modulate to the major. So I go. Whoops, my bad. And whoop, come on, that's pretty cool. So there's some options. Now you could choose to string together a couple of these. You could play like an A. You could play like our first one, the 1 5 1 5 6 4. So 1 5 6 4, and then we could go to the 6, and then to the 5 4 5, and then here we could go into the 6. Then we could start messing around in the natural minor. Now we've modulated the other direction. So it's easy to turn it around. We could use it to do, you know, various things. It's kind of nifty to have 2 5 chords back to back with one little thing in between. It's not as boring as the 1 5 1. It's not, you know, that, I mean, not that that's boring, but you know, this is maybe less interesting or has a different feel. It just depends on what you're trying to go for. So yeah, that's some of the things you can do here. Let's write a little melody on top, shall we? So let's go. We'll put a D. We'll make this softer. Whoops. You have to highlight it so you can affect only that one. We'll do a sort of spacious thing. We don't need a lot of fast notes. Actually, you know what? You guys can always just write all sorts of slow notes. Like that's because it's kind of more easy. So let's do something that's like this is technically even simpler, but I love this kind of stuff. So this is like minimalism. So we go B. I don't know why I had to think about the octave. I was thinking mostly about the pattern there. How do I do this again? It's just, I gotta get my intuition here. I do go up. No. I must be doing eighth notes here too. They match. Is it triplets? I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Let's do... Holy crap, that was loud. We'll do that. We'll do that twice. These things are so cool. These sort of fast little run things. This can go away. Get rid of this. Move this over. Yeah, I guess it's just gonna be off a little bit. That's fine. We'll end on a high note. That's kind of nice. Now, when I play the piano, and I can do this improvising, and it's a lot easier because it just sort of happens in front of, I'm just the instrument for the piano. The piano's playing me. So, okay, so we have that, and we will take this exact same thing. We're going to be a little, what are we on? A? We're just going to be a little cheater today and just do this. Boom, 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 boom. Now this one, we could try, just a sec. Whoops, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Move these ones down, move these ones up, grab these, put those there, grab these, put those there. No, it sounds weird when you switch it like that. Does my alt key not work? There we go. I gotta move the G's back too. And then we'll change this, whoops, to a G. This one, it may be important to stay in your position that you were at. So this is a very, very popular thing well, not totally recently. It's a little old now, but minimalism really caught on for a while, and it is used in all sorts of film scores. So if you're looking for cool film score ideas, a lot of this stuff goes on in the background, and then it's texture stuff. They outline chords, different chord tones. Like right now, we're just laying down the groundwork. Like we could really get pretty darn crazy with this and really create something kind of unique. And yeah. See, we could do that, and then let's add another thing of contact, and we will add in this time some strings. Now, I'm not gonna go through the arrangement or anything. I just want to add in some cool. There's a cool version of this, or cool version. They're all cool versions. The animator's the one I want. And let's go. Do they have a pattern? Here we go. We'll do, let's see this. 4/4 ARP2. 4/4 here. Let's try this. Okay, so we'll come in here. Now I have ghost notes turned on, or helpers or whatever. I mean, right now we're just outlining chords, so I can literally just go over wherever the chord is. Some people don't like doing this though, because they like to be more aware of what they're doing. That's fine. For here, this is simple enough for us. And we'll add in we'll double it, which is just take it up an octave. And then here we'll add a third. So pretty simple stuff. So here we go. And now this is gonna be too. It sounds like it's gonna be too loud. Oh, that's cool. I knew there was something down here. It looks like these are user presets though. So you can assign user presets, and then you can go ahead and, you know, make them however you want. So anyways, yeah, that's it. I mean, we've totally lost the chord progression point of the video now, but I think it's valuable to have a little bit of composition every now and then. And this is a pretty simple composition. Like, we haven't gotten too crazy. I mean, just looking at chords, just trying to be creative, thinking about things, ways of doing things. Right now, we're laying down mostly groundwork stuff, the cool, creative, like, oh, that made this thing really pop or shine. We haven't really gotten there yet, but as you can see, we're creating this cool kind of mixture, timbre, color, feeling. And that's something that we have the power to do with these kinds of tools. Now, you might have to be a little more creative and use synths if you don't own Kontakt, but as you can see, Kontakt is fabulous for these kinds of things. So if you have any questions about this chord progression, I mean, let me know. I mean, we covered that stuff, I thought, pretty okay. Subscribe and have a blessed day.